Oh.
Parents listen quietly as children play on the floor. As Denver tells these families that have sometimes walked from one continent to another that they just have to keep moving. But they don't have to walk. Denver will buy them a bus ticket. Tu camino no ha terminado. Tu camino no ha terminado. Querías un tantito más. No tienes que caminar por mi culpa. Puedes comprarte boletos gratuitos. Gratuitos. Puedes ir a cualquier ciudad. Hasta la frontera de Canadá te llevamos. Donde sea. Typical Democrat hypocrisy. It's the not in my backyard doctrine. They love to seem woke and compassionate. I mean, for Pete's sakes. A couple months ago, Democrat leaders in Denver were announcing that they were planning to cut public services to redirect those funds into taking care of all the illegal immigrants, who I guess are the top Democrat taxpayer priority now. I'm here to talk a little bit about the devastating impact of the failure of Republican leadership in Congress this week to pass comprehensive immigration change and the impact that will have on both city budgets and on services that we can provide for newcomers in the city. The second is we will start to have to greenlight a set of hard decisions about budget reductions across the city to meet those costs that we know will continue to arise. We want to talk about two of those today. While they're the first steps, they unfortunately will not be the last. They may not be the hardest.
I'm down. I am game. Tell you. Let's go work at In and Out. Let's go flip burgers. Tomorrow. They're arriving tomorrow. They're opening it tomorrow. Jesus. There's no sales of Sword and Shield anything up on B2B except for Evolved Skies. Chilling rain. Good lord. Everything Sword and Shield went up.
Did you see it? There's a fire on 133rd.
Really?
4433 West 133rd Street. 911 caller is reported an unconfirmed incident.
That's by Hawthorne Boulevard. 44.
4433 West.
Fuck, it's an apartment too. Yeah, it's right. Oh, that's right next to the that taco place. That's that first apartment building. Louis, you can't get out. What shoes?
Identifying a fake one, first thing you want to look at is the chain. The chain will be modern, welded. 99% of all ball and chains that you'll see are fake. There's very few examples that have existed, and most of them are in private collection. This one has the old heat and seat method. These were probably very shape.
This thing is incredible. There's 40 or 50 links in this chain, and every single one of them was used. Nowadays, you just walk in the hardware store, give me 3 feet of that.
Yeah.
It's a really cool shop, and I can put it on top of it and make sure it stays at work. You know, when this really plain, easy, and simple water bottle. What's this thing? $400. $400 it is. I never thought this thing was going to be worth that much money or any money at all, so I'm pretty stoked that I got $400. This is so good. Okay. So I'm like, what the hell is that?
Oh shit.
The U.S. Arizona, which was, of course, sunk during Pearl Harbor.
It's really neat.
Man, don't take it off your shift. They're looking to go, take your liberty and get some free time.
They have one from the Arizona and the Mississippi. The destroyer is named after a state, right? No, ships are named after states. Can you tell he was a man?
Yeah.
Wow.
Sell my liberty passes from the USS Arizona and USS Mississippi. 175 was probably my lowest I could go, but 200 is definitely what I'm looking for.
Where in the world did you get these?
I was going through my grandfather's personal military effects. I found this in one of his sea bags.
Okay. When the USS Arizona sank, remember this is the starting of World War II. No one expected this. This came completely out of the blue. There's speculation that someone left a door to the cover and the fire got in there, and literally thousands of pounds of powder went out the glass, and it went down in a matter of seconds. The guys didn't have a chance. In the Navy, the Liberty Pass gives you official permission to leave the ship for a little free time. But on December 7th, 1941, the Liberty Pass could have saved your life. That's the day the Arizona was sunk in the attack of Pearl Harbor. Over 1,100 sailors lost their life.
This one here was issued in San Pedro just before Arizona moved to Pearl Harbor.
Mm.
When you came back out to Liberty, there was a box on the quarter deck. You dropped it in.
But you wouldn't get to keep one of these.
No.
So these are pretty rare.
Yes.
You rarely see these. It's this one of them. It's from one of the most famous ships of World War II. I think collectors would buy these in a minute. So,
So I'm actually looking to see how much it will work.
as far as the Mississippi, I don't see a lot of money there. This one's neat because it's from the Arizona. Right? I'll give you $100.
$100 ain't gonna do it. I mean, it's pretty personal item. I mean, I definitely look for at least 200.
I'll tell you what, I'll go 150.
Nah,
It's a fair price.
that's the best you can do is 150.
150. I'm not going to go down.
All right, 150 it is.
All right. Use paperwork. I'll meet you right up front. This guy didn't seem to be too happy with my offer. You know what? You can walk away at any time.
What do we got here?
Well, it's a little bit more interesting than your standard firearm.
Wow. A brass knuckle gun? The gun is actually called the Apache. Lee. That's one hell of a pistol with. You got small hands. Your fingers are just super fat.
My grandfather had it. He passed away. It was sort of a thug's gun. I've seen where the value can reach up to $7,000. I don't want to go below 4, so we'll see how it goes.
Has a knife on it too? It's a knife, brass knuckles, and a gun. Wow. The ultimate self-defense weapon. I believe it got its name from a pretty famous gang that was in Paris.
My understanding is that it was pronounced Apache, which meant ruffian.
Awesome. How did you get it?
It's been in my family for a number of generations.
Like no gangsters in the family tree.
Well, I don't know.
Looks like it.
Most people think of Paris, they think of a nice place to take a vacation. They don't think of it as a rough place. But like most cities, they've always had gangs. Imagine having criminals walk around with a gun like this back then. Pretty hardcore. I don't think anyone designed anything quite like this. I mean, it's only a 28 caliber, but that was an effective round, especially at close quarters. This gun used 10 fire rounds. It's a really early form of modern ammunition. So when you wanted to reload, you literally had to, this came out like this. You would reload it with firing pins sticking out the side. So when you put it back in here, you had to be real careful not to knock the firing pins for the thing to go off in your hand.
Pretty dangerous.
And when you run out of bullets, all you have to do is hold the knife out. You know, you go to punch a guy like that, and when you swing it like that, you also have a knife sticking out the end of it. This gun has a lot going for it. It's got an amazing history tied to gangs in Paris, and on top of that, it looks pretty badass.
What?
So at the risk of sounding really desperate, I really want this for the shop. How much would you take for it?
7,000.
No. It's got a retail value between 2,000 and 3,000. I would go 2,000 for it because I think it would sell real quick.
No, they're very unique. The least expensive that I would let it go for would be about 45.
We're too far apart.
I'd go down to 4, but I can't do anything less than that.
Best I'm going to go is 22.
For that price, I will keep it in the family.
Okay.
I appreciate your time. I'm a bit disappointed. Since we weren't able to make a deal, I'll take it home, and maybe in 30, 40 years, my kids can do the same thing, and maybe they'll get a little bit more for it.
What do we got here?
Original blueprints to the USS Maine. 1887, 1889 before the ship was sunk.
That's really, really cool.
These are the propelling machinery and also 10-inch turret mounts.
Whoa. I've definitely never seen anything like this.
In the pawn shop to sell my blueprints of the USS Maine. I got these from an antique magazine. I researched for over 10 years. They're the only ones that I know of that exist. I like to sell them because I could use the money.
The Maine was one of the first battleships ever built. It was over 300 feet long.
What's up, Dean?
Yeah, the amazing thing is rotating turrets was such a
Are you already?
advance. 20, 30 years prior to this, I mean, warships, basically you had your guns sticking out the side and you had to line up next to each other. These were like some of the first guns that could actually shoot over the horizon. These things would shoot like 15 miles. It's also the ship that ended up blowing up in, was it Cartagena that blew up?
Havana Harbor.
Havana Harbor. Okay. Relations between the United States and Spain were already really stressed. The blowing up the Maine basically was the excuse to start the Spanish-American War.
Exactly.
The battle cry for the Spanish-American War was "Remember the Maine."
Mm-hmm.
When the USS Maine blew up, it was most likely an accident. But there was so much tension between the United States and Spain, basically, we wanted an excuse for war. This right here appears to be boilers.
Yeah.
These, I imagine, would be piston-driven steam engines.
Yes.
This is the gun. This is the turret it's on. and they would rotate on this right here. This is the back of the ship. This is basically the way things were stored.
Oh,
That is neat. So how much do you want for them?
Want 9,000 for this one? Want 6,000 for that one? And I want 10,000 for this one.
Jesus.
Okay. These are my big concerns here. Okay. They're not blueprints. Okay. Blueprints are going to have measurements. We have no measurements here.
Right. So these are the preliminary designs. Before those guns were put on the ship, these were made.
All right. I want to find out exactly what these are. You know, I got a buddy who collects all this military stuff. Do you mind if I have him come in and take a look at it?
I don't know.
Let me get my.
All right, sounds good.
This is an incredible find. This is one of the most important ships in American history. This inspired the battle cry, "Remember the Maine." The sinking
Remember
of this
the
ship
Maine.
started a war. If these are the preliminary designs, this could be worth a lot of money.
The USS Maine is to me it's interesting because it sort of caused the Spanish-American War, or not cause it, but give us reason to go and get involved. The USS Maine is important more for its political history. And the U.S. government had sent it into Havana to sort of let the Spanish know we were there, and it blew up. No one really knew why. The one thing we got out of the Spanish-American War, aside from the Philippines, was Guantanamo Bay. And as we all know, it's still around. Do they all say Isaac Friedenwald?
Yes. This one also says it, and this one also says it. So he's a lithographer in Baltimore.
He's a publisher in Baltimore. This is exactly what publishers do. They're going to put their name on the document. I don't buy these having been printed by the U.S. government.
They had private sectors that did work for the government.
Yeah, point taken, but I've never seen government documents that have like a private publisher. They have entire buildings devoted to printing stuff. The ship was finished, I think, in 1889. It was launched in 1890. What's the date?
1889.
Okay, that doesn't make sense. Why would these be preliminary designs if
They would have had to have designed this years earlier. I mean, this wasn't
that's what I'm thinking?
the design and make a gun like this would have taken years.
At least, right? Rick, I know what these are. I think these are propaganda documents. I mean, after the Maine sank, the United States government used publishers to make a big deal about the fact that the Maine had sunk, and it got us into the Spanish-American War. These are definitely not construction documents. I can tell you that. I think they're old. I think they have some history, but these were probably printed after the Maine went down.
I disagree. If you check the date, the ship had not been launched yet. So I believe you're wrong to say that these were propaganda or made after the Maine was sunk.
Why would a government take their top secret design for a new battleship and send it off to a printer in Baltimore? Doesn't make any sense. They're interesting looking. I mean, imagine framing these and putting them in your library. If you like naval history, this would be great. Other than that, I don't see a lot of value here. Tops, if you really want to put something classic looking, up on a wall, framed, $300-400 a piece. Am I close?
I want 25,000 for them.
Yeah, see, it's like totally different planets.
These are not what you say they are. These are what I say they are because these were made before the ship was sunk.
That may be true. Okay, let's just say, yeah, they outsourced these for some reason, and these did have a pre-sinking relevance. They're still not construction documents. I mean, to me, they're one of many copies made, and they were made for something. Maybe they were made for an official purpose, but I still think they're worth $300-400. So that's just my opinion.
Thanks, Greg.
You're welcome. If anything, these were copies. They could have been copies made during the period. More likely, in my opinion, they were made after USS Maine was sunk.
Well, I may be expert on a lot of things, but he's no expert on this, I can tell you right now, because I am 100% positive these are not propaganda, nor were they made after the Maine was sunk.
Okay, I mean, that's my guy. I mean, I got to go with what he says. I don't think someone's going to pay that kind of money. I just don't. I just believe that there was a lot of these probably printed up.
Printed, where are they? That it's the only one.
They might be the only ones, but I still don't think they're going to bring that kind of money.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in, though.
We weren't able to make a deal because the expert's opinion was different than I'm going to keep trying to sell them. Somebody will buy them eventually. I know they will.
Hey, how can I help you?
Good. How you doing? I have a clock lighter that I found at my grandfather's house. Everybody should have a clock on it. You can really burn some time with that. I decided to come down to the pawn shop today to try and sell my great grandfather's one.
I didn't need it, so I just came down to try and make more money. I'd like to get $2,000 for the watch if I could. I probably would be willing to walk out of here for $1,000.
So you know anything about it?
I don't know a whole lot about it at all.
This is me. This is a 1930s Dunhill lighter. Dunhill's an English company, but I believe their lighters were made in Switzerland. Yeah, Switzerland. In the 1930s, we had a depression going on. Not a lot of these were sold, and you had to be very well off to get one. It was like $100 in the 1930s, which right now is like $7,000.
Go grandpa.
Dunhill is a British company that
Comfrey Holy.
accessories for men to the late 1800s.
I gotta put up another.
Always been their most popular item. Of course, now they make a gold lighter that sells for over 13 grand.
It's a pretty good idea. Something like MacGyver would have.
It was made in the 1930s.
Another football break. I mean, another football break. Another.
Let's see if the clock works.
Pokemon break.
Years later, and everything still works on it. As far as collectible lighters go, Dunhill is it. This is the one to have. It's really rare.
That's great.
Just this lighter by itself in really good shape, without the watch in it, they go for like $1,000. And in really good shape, they go for like $2,500. Super. Okay, now we have this problem right here. It's beat to hell. That might just look like a little dent back there, but it's a really big issue. It's worth like $1,500 in this condition. I get antique lighters in here all the time, but I love Dunhills. They're known for their quality, and collectors love them. I just wish this one was in better shape. What were you looking to do with it?
I was looking to sell it.
What did you want for it?
I was looking $2,000.
$2 grand's not going to happen. More like $1,000.
We just said it was $1,500.
You go open up your own store and hire some employees, do a little advertising, sell it in your store for $1,500.
Well, I really would like to get 12. I disagree with you. The dent just gives the character.
My best price is $1,100. That is the best I can do.
The best. You're not
Nothing more. Nothing more.
not a nickel more.
Not a nickel more. I'll let you walk for a nickel.
Okay, I'll take it.
I'll let you walk for a
Very
nickel.
much, don't play with it.
When he first offered me $1,000 for it, I thought he was being a cheap ass. But we settled on $1,100, and I'm happy with it.
What do we have? Well, obviously, it's a mace. Put that down gently.
Will do.
Okay. Do you know much about it?
Yeah, I think it's probably from about 1550, 1560.
This is really intriguing. This is like one of the oldest weapons there is, and it worked. Remember, we're talking the 1500s. I mean, they still wore armor.
So, Bito,
Swinging this on someone's, I mean, you feel like
I know I was busy all day. I didn't get back to the shop till like 6:45.
Just went up. I've been here before, so I felt comfortable bringing something back in here. I collect medieval weapons. A real mace that's 500 years old is very hard to come by. I think that this pawn shop will recognize it for what it is.
it's just like what, like 5-6 pounds.
Yeah,
So it's light enough so the guy can carry it.
right. When you swing and hit somebody with this thing, it puts the whole force of impact on one point.
That's what they report. I mean, this right here is the equivalent of a bullet hitting you in the head. It's hundreds of thousands of pounds of force right there. You hit someone in the chest, on the ribs, you're going to break ribs. Hit someone in the leg, they're going to go down. You hit someone in the head, you're going to kill. I love when old weapons like this come to shop. They not only appeal to weapons collectors, but just
Surely.
rich guys love these things.
Oh, I have
They're just
Star Wars. If you want one, a box,
Yeah, I was thinking about 3,800.
Do you have some paperwork on this?
Unfortunately, I don't have any problem on it other than, as it sits here.
Okay.
I know it's real.
I like it, but I would like someone to look at it that knows a little bit more than I do. So I'm going to call my buddy Craig.
No. What? Can we just do a deal? We don't need Craig, do we?
This guy and Craig disagree on price a lot. Both of them know a lot about weapons, but I always have to side with the guy not trying to get a lot of money out of me.
Nice to see you.
Yeah, good to see you too.
Nice.
Pretty amazing though. I'm assuming it's an old mace. I don't know if this is 200 years old. I don't know if this is 600 years old.
Very interesting. I will tell you, when you look at a piece of armor or a weapon like this, there's always going to be a chance it's a very well-made Victorian era reproduction. So, is this one of those? or is it a weapon? Number one thing to look at is that this is hollow. You can tell it's not solid. And why is that? Okay. A heavier weapon you think is a better weapon, but no. A weapon you can swing faster is a better weapon. That's why big swords, medieval swords are light. The faster you can swing a weapon, the more damage it's going to do.
And I'll have Iono for Friday.
Yeah, where it was made?
It's probably Italian or Spanish, and I don't think you're going to find a proof mark of any kind here because remember, this was mass produced. Another thing, too, when you look at this piece, look at this pitting. You've got big pits, little pits, pits within pits. So this has been around and it's been cleaned a lot. And yes, this is old. I would place this 1500s. This is a weapon, not a wall hanger, and that's what you want. We agree for once. We're going to like bury the hatchet and go clubbing.
So what's it worth?
All right. I can tell you exactly what it's worth. $2,500.
I disagree. It's worth more than that. They could go as high as 4,000.
I mean, you're right. I'm still going to value it at 2,500. Doesn't mean you're not going to get 35. You might not be able to sell it for 2.
It does display really well. It's a nice piece. Here's the real story. Craig's not coming in to help me make money. He's there representing the pawn shop. You know, what's the difference? I show up with my friend. He says it's worth $5,000.
Okay. Thanks, man. Rick, pleasure. I try to say, what's this going to auction for on a reasonably good day? And in this case, I've seen several maces like this go for right around $2,500. So in this case, it's easy.
Yeah, the one sitting right there in front of the camera.
What's your best price? You know, I'd like to get about $3,500 for it.
Give you $1,800 for it. That's like my top. You know, I might go for more, I might go for less. I think it's really, really cool. I really like it.
Do you want it?
Well, I want it.
Let's do $2,900 and call it a day.
Okay, I'll give you $2,000.
$2,750.
I'll go $2,000.
$27.
$2,000.
Gotta have more than $2,000.
Yeah, the number one thing you have to learn when you're in this business, if the price ain't right, walk away.
Well, give in a little bit. We got a deal.
Tell you what, I'll give you $2,100. I won't give you a penny more.
22.
2,100.
22.
No.
21.
Okay.
Make yourself a mace.
Let's walk up front and we'll write this thing up.
The only reason I could sell it for $2,100, I don't particularly have that much in it. If he's just buying it for resale, you know, I understand the man's got to make a little bit of a profit.
Hi,
How can I help you?
I have this really cool piece. This was a prop in The Godfather,
The movie?
the movie, The Godfather.
It is literally one of my favorite movies of all time.
Unlike most people, I don't like the movie because when I saw the horse's head, I was horrified and stopped watching it.
I have to say, the horse head in the bed thing is a real good way to get a deal done. I almost threw a horse's head in your bed when you wouldn't give me a percentage of the business.
I buy storage lockers at public auction. It was in one of the lockers that I purchased. I'm not a fan of the movie, but I know that there are a lot of fans of that movie, so I think I'll be able to do okay.
It was one of the greatest dramas ever made. It really was. I mean, up until that point, movies weren't this dark and the characters weren't this rich. It was number one in 1972. It was the number 2 or 3 movie of all time up to that point, and how much it grossed. It is considered by everyone an absolute masterpiece. It was a career-building movie. I mean, Al Pacino, De Niro. I mean, there was just tons of actors in those movies that got their start and stayed famous for 30, 40 years because of it. I was right around 20 years old first time I saw The Godfather. I was blown away. It's got everything. Great writing, great directing, great actors. What else do you need? Do you have paperwork on this stuff?
I have a certificate of authenticity from the Ellis Prop Company that says it was sold at an auction they had in 1999. And I have a letter with a picture of the jewelry box, also indicating that it was in the movie.
This Deco-style ballet jewelry box was issued to the set of The Godfather for use in background scenes. Now, do you know what scene it was in?
No, I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't watch it.
And it doesn't say anything in the paperwork either. So you want me to make you an offer you can't refuse?
Correct.
And how much would you like me to buy it for?
I saw other people selling props from The Godfather, and they were asking for about $1,000.
If you ever go to a movie set, okay, especially big productions like The Godfather,
Mhm.
There's thousands and thousands of things on set. Now, if you were talking about the movie The Godfather, I'd want Vito Corleone's hat. The gun that was taped behind the toilet at the end of the movie. You got a $5 jewelry box. I mean, this is just such a small prop, and it's almost insignificant. This is the jewelry sitting in the corner of the room that you got to see on set for maybe 3 seconds. I don't think this worth money.
Okay.
Vino's in the chat.
For The Godfather, I think that you'd be able to sell this for a good amount of money.
Trust me, if I thought I could make money.
Yeah, he took a picture of it last time he was here.
Period.
Okay.
Thanks for coming in, Bob.
Thanks for your time. I appreciate it. After they talked so much about the movie, I was really very surprised that they didn't make an offer. But I'm pretty positive I'll be able to sell it on my own.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey there. I have a authentic sign.
Or
House
two.
Okay. This is the greatest quarterback of all time, period. And I know there's a million people that will argue with me, but I really don't care. I grew up in San Diego.
I picked up this jersey about 10 years ago at a sports memorabilia shop in San Diego. I think Dan Fouts is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in NFL history. I'm going to ask $500 for the jersey. I'm not really sure what it's worth. Maybe a little less. We'll see.
So I grew up right down the street from the stadium. He was my.
You got him at Target, right?
I mean, he really was. Me and my friends, we weren't the best of kids in the world. Me and my buddy, we had paper routes. And occasionally, for a little extra money, we'd stop by the 7-Eleven. We'd put 50 cents in the machine. We'd take all the papers out and sit right there on the sidewalk for the 7-Eleven. And we'd sell them for 50 cents a piece. And lo and behold, Dan Fouts went by once and bought a newspaper office. And it was just like the highlight of the year. I was, I think, 13 or 14 years old, and he was cool to me, and I remember it to this day. Absolutely. If he was playing today, Dan Fouts would be one of the best quarterbacks in the league, no question. This guy threw for over 4,000 yards 3 years in a row. As far as quarterbacks go, I can't think of one that was ever better. Gosh, that is one blobby signature. If you didn't know who Dan Fouts was, would you be able to read that? I know it's real. How much you want for it?
We can start around 500.
You have to realize, I'm telling you, of all the jerseys you find out there, especially on the internet, and a lot of sports shops, 90% of them are fake. I would like someone to look at it. I got a buddy who works right down the street. He's got a sports shop. Let me get him down here real quick. He'll look at the signature. It's legit. We'll talk price. Okay?
All right, thank you.
Be right back.
I believe the signature on the jersey is authentic, and I welcome him bringing in any expert he may choose to do so.
What's going on, man? I'm just living the dream, looking at him like the greatest quarterbacks there ever was.
Greatest quarterback in the history of football, debatable. Best quarterback statistically in the late 70s, early 80s. I'll give you that, man. I mean, there was nobody better than Dan Fouts in the 4-year span.
Okay.
This was arguably the best offense ever assembled not to win an NFL championship. So, you know, for a Chargers fan, you don't really have a lot of historically great things that happened to root for. So you're looking at late 70s, early 80s. This was the time to be a Chargers fan.
Well, yeah, a lot of my buddies say, what's the tallest building in the world? The Chargers Hall of Fame.
Understand me, when Dan Fouts came to the team, they were a losing franchise. Dan Fouts was the prolific passer of that time. On average, their offense will put up about 30 points per game, which was just unheard of back then when the game usually focused on defense and running.
I just want to make sure it's legit.
Okay. This is what I have here. This is from PSA's website directly. This is an example of a Dan Fouts signature. So what I'd like to do, we'll turn it over. We'll compare the two, the characteristics of the autograph, and I'll let you know what it is.
Okay. The signature is
All right, sounds good.
Bobby.
The old paint pen, yeah.
I'll have it here for you.
Looking at a Dan Fouts signature, you just want to focus on a couple of the key characteristics. It's a very small, compact signature, starting with the D in Dan. All of the signatures I've seen, it's a pair of stacked loops, with the top loop being significantly larger than the bottom. And then the F, that's the main thing you want to look at. It's a standalone letter, and the lower bar of the F is always going to be symmetrical with the cross and the T. Based on my experience, I've seen a lot of Dan Fouts signatures out there. Comparing it with the template, this one's easily 100%.
Okay, sweet. So what do these jerseys go for?
Unless you're from the San Diego area, grew up watching them, there's just not a lot of new collectors out there looking for Dan Fouts. You're looking at about $150 here.
Okay. All right. So $150.
Yeah. So he's one of those guys where if somebody wants one, they typically already have one.
Okay. Well, cool, man. Thanks.
There you go, man. Good luck.
All right, good meet.
If this jersey was game worn, we'd be talking.
The family loves it. The family loves the candy. Hey, Kalika. The family loves the candy.
You heard me.
I disagree.
I'll give you $150. That's what it's worth. I want it for myself, but that's what I could get. I mean, if I go get another one, I'm gonna have to write on $150. Just go there. I mean, this was just in front of me right now. It brings back a lot of memories. So, you want 150? I'll give you 150. And I never pay people what it's worth.
Yeah, that's just it.
Think about it. No one's gonna pay you more. I guarantee you.
I'm gonna have to bring you something else back to.
Okay, we'll bring you something else. I mean, if it's charging, I'll pay more.
I might have something else for you. So,
All right. Thanks, man.
all right, I appreciate it.
Thank you.
155. Sounds like the expert's a Broncos fan to me.
What do we have here?
We have an old clock here. I was over at a friend's house and saw it in the closet. And my friend ended up just letting me have it.
I can see why it was in a closet.
I decided to come down to the pawn shop today to sell my antique clock. It has 6 beautiful silver dollar coins in it. It's just been sitting on the mantle collecting dust, but anyone would want to have it. So I know I'm going to be walking out of here today with a lot of money.
Hey, Dick, come over here and look at this. Wow. This is you. This is your style right here.
Probably one of the ugliest things I ever seen.
What I think makes the value in the clock are the antique coins in there.
These look like they're in great shape. Yeah, 4 Morgan silver dollars. The reason they call them Morgan silver dollars, they used to name coins after the person who engraved it, design. Okay. There was a guy named Morgan. He was one of the best coin engravers the United States ever had. He designed these right here. And the other two are peace dollars. They came out right after World War I. In 1921, they started making peace dollars, and those are the ones worth money. But coins, it's all about the condition. The coins are very interesting. They can be worth over $1,000 a piece. Wow. They've been polished. Usually, when you have prices, when you look in a book or something like that, there's columns. Okay.
Okay.
You know, the very last column where it said good. It's one grade below that. Yes. Polishing a coin takes away all the numismatic value. Numismatic value is the value of a coin above its precious metal content.
Why does that destroy the value of a coin?
When you take a buffing wheel and take the whole top surface of the coin off, you destroy the coin, plain and simple. And you can see the hair right above the face there.
Yeah.
See how it's worn down?
I figured that was just from circulated use.
Okay, all right. Now, if it was circulated, would it be that shiny? No. This happens a lot. People clean and polish old coins. They think it's going to increase the value. In reality, it's the exact opposite. But there's some good news here. Silver dollars got 0.77 ounces of silver in it. And with the price of silver nowadays, we're talking some money. The clock is one of the most hideous things I've ever seen in my life. Basically, what you have here is you have 6 silver dollars. There's $150.
Oh yeah. They're still here.
I will give you
You say it's worth 150?
Hey, someone take a hammer to this thing. 125. That's what I can pay. No more, no less. That's it.
I think I'll just take it back home and stick it back up on the mantle. Right.
You didn't really have this on a mantle.
Yes, I did.
Further you than me.
Sorry, we couldn't do anything.
Thank you very much, sir. I disagree with them. I've had lots of people over at the house, and they've all commented on what a nice clock it is. I wish I could find the guy who took the value away from these coins. It really bummed the heck out of me today.
That's funny.
Earlier, I got a call from a gun dealer. Last time Sean and I went to a shop, he checked out a genuine Gatling gun that he actually let us fire. He won't tell me what he's got this time, but he says it's big and loud, and it's definitely worth the trip. So what are you hiding underneath this thing?
Well, let's take a look.
Oh my gosh.
The Hawk is 37 millimeter revolving cannon.
It's your own private army or something?
Every home should have one.
So,
This gun was in the back room because it's so big, I didn't have room for it to put it out in the store display area. It's a hot kiss revolving cannon. It's just so strong and powerful looking.
So it's sort of like a Gatling gun cannon.
It
On
is.
steroids.
I mean, I think of Hotchkiss as a single barrel. This is not your average Hotchkiss. This come out after the Civil War, 1876. They made quite a few of them, maybe even 250 of them to the American government. It probably got its most fame in the Spanish-American War. It pretty well helped take out the Spanish Navy. A lot of them just got ate up from the salt water. They just tipped them over the boats and let them go down to the bottom of the ocean. This one obviously is in pristine condition.
5-barrel revolving cannon, that directly correlates to the Gatling gun. It's the same principle, a hand crank, multiple barrels. But you're talking about a barrel that's got a mouth on it this big around. Come on, this is incredible.
We have ammo for it. Man,
good lord.
that shoots a 1-pound projectile and it shoots 2,500 yards, a mile and a half.
Talk about reach out and touch somebody.
So one crank, one round.
One crank, one round. You feed the cartridges in here, it'll hold 5.
Okay, so someone can just stand beside and keep on loading, and you can just keep on cranking.
Yeah.
This thing is amazing. It basically changed the way wars were fought. You couldn't line up on a battlefield and fight each other in Napoleonic style. You would get slaughtered that way. So how much are we looking to get out of it?
Everything's for sale at the right price.
Okay, what is that price?
Well, this would have to be 75 pounds.
At 75,000, this Hotchkiss is pretty pricey. But hey, last time I came out here, I couldn't make a deal on the Gatling gun, and I bought a sharp rifle instead. This time, I ain't settling for a rifle.
So you're gonna let us take it out and test it out?
Your serious buyers will take it out and shoot it. We love to shoot them.
Okay, we'll meet you at the range.
Fantastic. Really appreciate it.
It's gonna be the best spring pick ever. This is the Hotchkiss 37 millimeter. Fires a 1-pound projectile.
This looks like Hellfire and Damnation right here.
So with the Gatling gun, shot a pretty big bullet. But with the Hotchkiss, now this is what I'm talking about. 37 millimeter. This would do some damage. So downrange, you have a bunch of barrels filled with water as your target. And then beyond that is the grand finale. Last target. I can tell you exactly what's going to happen, but hold on to your hat. This gun was designed to inflict major damage. You wouldn't want to be in the front of this thing. They were during the Spanish-American War. Spanish ship is coming close, about 75 yards downrange. You got 5 shots. Okay, this is it.
Holy shit.
That's what I'm talking about. So the last barrel is going to be the grand finale. This is an impact party. So in other words, the projectile has to hit this element to make it a
Kings 5-2.
But here you saw the exploding target for the Sharps carbine. That was 2.5 pounds of explosive. This is going to be 20 pounds. This is going to be incredible.
Damn.
When I hit that target, my God, I did not expect that. This thing is awesome. Something built back in the 1870s, it really packs a punch. If I can work out a decent price, you're damn right. I'm gonna buy.
So realistically, what are you looking to get out of this thing?
The Canon's got to be 75,000. It's one of those things you just don't ever find. The opportunity to buy a piece of history.
I'll give you 40 grand for it.
75,000 is a bargain on this.
Do you pay 40 grand for it? Cash right now. Not an easy sell.
You have to find that one person.
And they're getting harder and harder to find.
No question about it. That's a serious offer. I think I got to hold off.
Okay, if you change your mind, give me a call, but offer stands for now.
Fair enough.
I can't believe I drove all the way from Vegas to Utah and this guy won't budge on his price. It was really awesome to shoot it, but I was really disappointed having to walk away empty-handed. So I'm here in Boston because my buddy Steve Grad told me about this amazing Red Sox collection. And he tipped me off that the seller might actually be willing to sell a few pieces.
Hey, Rex. How's it going? All right, Pat, welcome. Thanks for coming out here.
Oh, thanks.
We've got some amazing items here that I want to show you.
Okay.
This is the most extraordinary and unique collection of Red Sox team signed baseballs that you're going to find anywhere on the planet. Starts from 1901, which would be this ball right here, and all the 5 World Series they won with Babe Ruth. This one is the first and earliest Babe Ruth signature that we know of that's out there on baseball.
That's incredible.
Jesus. We have the world's largest baseball card. The world's largest baseball card. Don't put it in the spokes of your bike because this one is signed by Cy Young.
Okay. Pretty damn cool.
I'm representing the owners of the biggest team baseball collection in Red Sox history. Today, we're going to be able to offer the Cy Young cabinet card. The owners are looking to get $175,000. The other one we have is Ted Williams' 477 home run baseball. They're looking to get $50,000 for that.
I mean, this is really neat.
These 2 pieces the owners are willing to part with. This baseball is Ted Williams' 477th home run. Why don't you put that glove on right there?
Yeah, I mean, he's Mr. Baseball in Boston. Oh, he wrote all over it. That's really cool. Home run number 477, June 24th, 1958. Yeah, I think Ted Williams was basically considered a god in his town.
Oh, so it is. He was the Red Sox Mickey Mouse. And we're talking about a World War II veteran here. He missed 5 years of his career to go to the military and serve our country and still hit 521 home runs. This is an excellent piece. What this is the cabinet card from 1893, signed by Cy Young. As far as we know, there's only 6 of these out there in the world. The best part about it is if you look over here, this actually comes in the envelope that he sent it with his handwriting.
Yeah, it's pretty incredible. Yeah, Cy Young, who's arguably the greatest baseball player ever to live.
Yeah.
He's a pitcher that won over 500 games.
511.
It would be mathematically impossible for any pitcher to do that nowadays because they don't play that many games. So, super cool question. So, gloves off, what is the price of the Ted Williams ball?
Our team will accept $50,000 that one.
Okay. And the world's largest baseball card.
We're asking $175,000.
It's a little bit pricey. So I'm going to go give Steve a call.
Okay.
I just want a little input here. Give me a few minutes. I'll be right back. I'm going to give him a call.
Okay, great.
So I guess you already know about this stuff.
Yeah, some really great stuff. This is some of the best stuff I've ever seen outside of the Baseball Hall of Fame.
So I really love number 477, Ted Williams. I think it's really, really cool.
He's certainly still the most famous Red Sox player almost of all time. So I see we have a letter as well. This is from Steve Reynolds. Pete Reynolds was a pretty good ball player in his own right, a former teammate of Ted's. So it says, my father, Pete Reynolds, and Ted Williams were teammates. On June 29, 1958, Ted Williams hit his 477th career home run. The ball was hit atop the roof in right field. That's a great story. My father acquired the baseball, and he wrote the score and information about the home run on the ball, and then had 10 million autograph the ball. Now, I'm, semi-familiar with this. You're not really going to see much on here. It's just mostly a faded signature. But, the thing you want is that, which is absolutely phenomenal.
And then we have this Cy Young baseball card.
This is really fantastic piece of history. Cy Young, obviously, really the greatest pitcher of all time. 2 years after he died, they named the Cy Young Award after him. But the great thing about this, and the history about this piece, is this letter is tied in directly to this. So this is Cy Young sending this to someone. And I don't know if you could ask for better clothing.
So, what do you think they're worth?
We have two great pieces here, Rick. These are museum quality. So the first one, obviously, Cy Young, just focusing on this, how incredibly rare it is. I could easily see this going for $200,000.
Okay. And the ball?
So the baseball is really interesting, and I love the letter. It ties it all in together. I put that value in at $65,000.
Okay. Want to have dinner with it?
You're buying it.
Well, if I buy anything, I'm going to be broke, so you're fine.
No problem.
Good luck. Okay. All right. So the ball and the Cy Young, I will give you 175 grand. For these two right here.
I'm sorry, I absolutely cannot do that. Our price is 2.25 right now.
And your best prices?
My best offer, I'll give it all to you for 220.
My best offer is literally going to be 100.
I'm sorry, just can't do it that low.
Okay. Well, if you change your mind, let me know.
Okay, but thanks a lot. I was disappointed that we couldn't come to an agreement on price, but we're gonna hold on to them. We know there's other interested buyers out there, and we know we'll get our price eventually.
Hey, Bernie, how's it going?
That's
How are
crazy.
you, Rick? Doing good. There's a ton of people I do business with all around the country, but I never get to meet them in person. Can't wait to see this stuff. It's always over the phone or the internet or something like that. So now that I'm in LA, I'm going to go see Bernie, the guy when it comes to all things Disney.
Oh yeah.
This is it. It's a mouse house. It's all from the 1930s.
Yeah.
This has got to be like the most impressive collection I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you. I love Mickey Mouse. I've been collecting Mickey Mouse and Disney things since about 1968, before it was popular. I saw this stuff go from lowbrow to high art in a matter of decades.
This is all pre-Disneyland.
Oh, definitely pre-Disneyland. Disneyland 1955, when the first merchandise was produced around 1929, 1930.
Yeah, I think the first merchandise piece was someone ran into Walt Disney in a lobby and wanted to give him $300 to put Mickey Mouse on the back. That's exactly right. Mickey Mouse was wildly popular in the 1930s, but the stuff that was built wasn't built to last, and there's hardly any of it around today.
Let me show you. This piece is not for sale, but this is an old King Cole store display, pre-Donald. The beauty of this thing, it moves. Doesn't get any better than that, Greg.
Yeah, that is amazing.
Now, I'll show you something that I think might be the only example. That's Walt Disney's original business card from the Hyperion Studio.
That is amazing.
No email it.
The business card is probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen, because I've never seen one before. I doubt if anyone else has. You are looking to sell some stuff, right?
Well, I've got a couple pieces that I can show you that I think you'd find rather interesting. Come here, let me show you. I have probably the largest accumulation of what they call Old King Cole store displays, and I have got three that I want to show to Rick that he's going to go back
Cole?
with. You mark my words. It's the Mickey, Donald, and another Mickey. Amazing. They were made by something called Old King Cole in Canton, Ohio. And they were never intended for the consumer market. These were commercial things that were either used as window displays, store displays, and then also in theaters they'd use it if they had a Mickey Mouse cartoon or something. They were made of paper mache, the world's most delicate material, and there are very few made and very few survived.
I want these store displays. I'm a closet Disney freak.
Classic
and
Disney freak.
This is stuff that will never come my way again. I need to have this. The great thing I love about this right here We have the old Donald Duck with the giant long bill. Long bill Donald, that's right. They were crazier characters back then. Absolutely. So how much were you looking to get out of it? Well, I need 15,000 on the Donald. If you want the pair, the point you go to Rick, pick a nice marquee somewhere for you. You're going to pay me 25,000 for the pair. And this one over here, you can have for 12,000. So if I took them all, 35,000. 30. Everything negotiate with me. It's in my blood. I can't help it. I mean, they're amazing. They really are. And in the middle, 3250, wouldn't it? Yeah. Congratulations, you made yourself a hell of a buy. I'm absolutely giddy. These are probably one of the coolest things I've ever bought. This is going to be one of those things that I hang in my shop that people for years will come down just to look at these. So I'm in beautiful, sunny San Diego. I guess you'd call this working. And I bought some really cool beer items. So I'm here to see my buddy Peter. He owns AleSmith Brewery. He can tell me what they're worth, see if I got a good deal or not. And I'm going to try and drink for free. Good to see you. Me too. So I got two really cool items. I have this 1800s scientific instrument for measuring alcohol, and I have no idea how it works or really what it's worth.
Wow. Well, look, let me take a look here. So we got a heating element here.
Yeah, here's the alcohol burner. This goes, that's as far as I got. Okay.
I believe this is going to fit in here. Right. So what we have here is an ebullimeter. It's based on the boiling temperature of different liquids. So we know ethyl alcohol boils at about 174, and we know water boils at 212. So they scaled that out, and the more alcohol, the lower the boil temperature.
Okay.
I would love to fire it up. I'm just concerned about the mercury in this.
Okay.
But there's nerds out there that love this kind of stuff. I'm one of them. The field alcohol meter isn't something you see every day. From what I can tell, it's never been used. It looks in pristine condition, and I imagine that it would dictate the dollar amount at the higher end of the spectrum.
See, he's young.
Yeah, right.
The Harvard Brewing Company. I mean, it's the thickest barrel I've ever seen.
You know, back in the old days, these things found their way onto ships. They were being on railroads, so they were hardy. They would reuse these over and over again as well. That's what the bunghole's about. You can fill and refill, clean these. You got your keystone here. You put the tap right on there. This would obviously be on its side, and you dispense beer right out of here. Now, if they did get in trouble in Prohibition, and a lot of these were destroyed, so that would help the value with this.
So what are these things worth?
Well, your vintage field meter here, I've seen ones that are in beat up condition that are $600-700. This is pristine. I'm not sure it was ever even used. It's a nice piece of equipment. The barrel, it comes down to pre-prohibition or post-prohibition. Based on the shape, the thickness of the wood, the way the rings are, I'm betting it's pre-prohibition. So I'm going to say together here, about $2,000. So what did you pay?
Paid $1,400. You know what? And they're going to look great in my bar.
They are cool. Now, what's interesting is barrel aging strong beer in bourbon barrels, rye barrels, tequila barrels became fashionable. And I can show you how we use those today back in the brewery.
Okay, this I got